is that proper layout?
Yeah.
Is that right? Because what's the idea of an offset? What's the purpose of an offset?
Safety zone.
Yeah, creating safety zones, right? Creating space for you to be able to go left or right. Creating for you to be able to brake without hitting the guy in front of you, and space behind you so the guy doesn't run over you. Right? How many of these riders are in proper position?
The last one.
Yeah, basically one. Oh, okay, so let me give you one more piece of information you don't have. Right now they're driving about 55.
Damn. They're all too close.
Okay? They're doing 55. Now what's the issue? How many are in proper position? One guy, right? And where do we put our best riders?
In the back.
Front and the back. Who's our best rider? Guy in the back. Have you been on the freeway lately? Hey,
Can't go 55 on the freeway
one
around
thing
here.
This is Jeff Beecher. He's one of our instructors. And Jeff and I are both counters. What's a counter?
Distance.
He's a 4-second guy. He's a 4-second guy. We constantly count off our own distance. We double check. Am I really falling as far as I think I am? By the way, point of impact. Your front tire to their rear bumper. They pass something, you start counting. When your front tire hits that object, that's the same as you.
Say that again?
Their back tire passes a painted line or something. You count. When your front tire touches that same line, that's your point of impact. So it's not their front bumper to yours. It's their back bumper to your front. Right? Point of impact. That's what you're counting on. What is 2 seconds? Yeah.
You said it's 4 seconds?
He's a 4-second guy.
So I thought the state of Oregon taught 3 seconds, which is where I learned it.
And state of Washington teaches what? 2.
Wow.
That's the national standard, right? 2 seconds. Right? What does 2 seconds actually allow you to do? That's pretty much it, right? So a lot of people think, oh, that's my stopping distance. But what has to happen in that 2 seconds? I got to figure out, oh, I should stop. And then I have to go to start the stop, and then I have to squeeze the lever. And then it has to build pressure up, and then it has to squeeze the little pads against the rotors, and then it has to start generating heat to take off speed, and then it has to actually start slowing the bike. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But guys, here's the thing. Count yourself and then count other traffic. Count the distance between their falling distance. If I'm back here, I'm counting falling distance here. Where should these riders be?
At the top of the hill.
Behind the hill.
Let's look at the obvious solution.
The other lane?
The other lane. Nobody's there. Why are they behind the cars? This makes no sense. By the way, this was our debrief. What were you doing? Okay.
That's good lane discipline.
So, great comment. Flying information. Okay, flying information looks cool. Everybody likes to do it. I have been to more than one court case where I was testifying not on the behalf of the rider, but on behalf of whoever they were trying to sue. And what happened, I'll give you one example. There was a group of riders that went riding. They went up through Elby before they had cleaned up the tracks up there. They come across the road at a very steep angle. It's not the only place that's there, but it's one place. Right? They went up. It was a rider who did not put 100 miles on their bike. It was an early season ride. He'd ridden all the way from Bellevue all the way up to Mount Rainier, or Mount St. Helens, up to Windy Ridge, and they were on their way back. On the way up, it was foggy. On the way back, it was raining. Okay. Everybody starting to pick up there's a few things going on now? Yeah. Right? When they got through Elby, is Elby a fast or a slow place to ride? Slow, about 35 miles an hour, right? If everything's going well. As you come around the corner, you're making a left-hand turn across a steep bank of lane, right? He's in formation. What do you do when you're in formation? You stay in formation, right? Guess what happened when he hit the tracks? Wiped out, right? Instead of him doing it as his own, riding his own ride, slowing down, changing across and crossing closer to a 90 or 45 degrees. He hit the track, leaned over, riding at that. Now this isn't old, right? He wasn't going fast. The speed was not a factor. But he hit the ground and fell down. Guess what the rider behind him did? Ran him over, right? Luckily, she didn't actually kill him. He killed himself. He wasn't wearing a real helmet. And that did it for him. So even if she hadn't run him over, he was pretty much done deal. But the idea was, what did he do? He held that formation. Right? The whole idea of this offset is so you have space. When you guys ride down to Auburn today, because I assume you're going to link up with other people, make sure you guys ride your own ride. Space it out. Right? 2 seconds minimum between the ride in front of you. We're talking about riding in the rain today. What should that distance be?
More.
Yeah, more. Right? Whatever it is. Might not be 4, maybe it's 3, maybe it's 8. That depends on you and the conditions, right? So this is something to keep in mind. We see this all the time. Think, guys, it's all about you. You know this. I'm not saying anything today that you guys don't know.
Is it proper etiquette when you're riding in a formation to use both half of your lane when you deem it necessary for yourself?
The purpose of riding offset is what?
Leave yourself out.
So I have the whole lane to use when I deem necessary.
So if I choose in a corner that I need to move to the other half of my lane.
If you were in the corner, you better be using both sides of your lane. Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, when we go into corners, you should go drop single file.
It's good.
Right? Which means you're no longer 2 seconds now, you're
So
4
if you got the
seconds.
guy behind you sniveling at you because you were switching sides of the lane, then
That's his
he needs to
problem.
move along and go somewhere else.
You just go forward. Because do I want that guy behind me when something goes wrong?
He's over you again.
If guys that are doing that, I don't want them near me. You go in front of me, I'm going to just sit back here, I'm going to watch. Because I'm going to practice my first aid skills, right? He's going to provide me that opportunity.
You know, it's interesting, make an interesting point. We provide an on-street class where we take people out actually riding on the road. And, you know, essentially you ride as a group. There's 6 riders, there's 2 advisors and 4 students. So you're our group of 6. And this year we were very blessed to get some whole chapter road captains and safety officers come and take the class as a group. So these guys are actually used to riding together. They put the rides together for the chapters all the time. But when they took some of the teachings that we come from the on-street class and they started applying them to their riding, one of the comments at the end of the day just blew me away. Where we stopped and I was like, that was great guys, you guys improved. I mean, I see a lot more space, there was no surprises, everybody respected each other. You know, they were using the whole road when we got to the twisty bits, because twisties are fun, we make that part of that class. You know? And then one guy, being a safety officer, road captain for a long time, he turned around and he said, you know what, I have ridden with these 3 for years and I have never had so much space. And I asked him why. And he said, because we just knew and understood, this is my real estate. I can use it. This is my real estate. I can use it. And because everybody had that understanding, there was no surprises. Everybody gave each other a little more space. So I asked them, did you enjoy your ride more? And they all agreed, yeah, because I felt safer. And it was just great to hear that, you know, because the mindset was there before they even started riding, that they were going to ride different, give each other's respect to each other's space, and then ride accordingly. And it's just, the risk factor just went down, and they enjoyed their ride even more. So it's just something to consider.